Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Tokyo 2000 meter counterclockwise Scorpio Cup. This is going to be a champions meet that is mostly about either debuffing or going to be about that final corner. There's not going to be a lot of straight line stuff, so straight away spurt is out of the question. Your horses with straight line uniques are also not going to be very important. There's 2 uphills and 1 downhill, and note that this is not a firm condition track. Please do not buy your firm conditions, alright? This is a soft track with rainy weather and fall. Right, do not buy the wrong thing. All right, just making sure. Okay, moving on to the stat lines. We basically are going for a 2000 meter track. It's going to be a lot less than Taurus Cup, so stamina requirement is only 900 plus 500, more than enough to survive already. But because this is a medium track, nice natures are going to be very common, which means that getting a goal recovery is going to be very important for you to help to tank a few of those nice nature, mystifying murmurs, or all-seeing eyes. Right, so just take note of that little detail. As per usual, you want to get speed, you want to get power, you want to get width as much as possible. There's a very long downhill and there's also going to be 2 uphills. These are going to be very important stat lines to help you out with these hills and downhills. Right? If I were to prioritize one, I would tell you to go for power over the width. But of course, I do not recommend cutting too much width because width affects a lot of very good stuff. Right? For runaways, I do not recommend playing them as ace, but playing them as a sacrificial strat or as a pace increaser or as a blocker is perfectly viable. Right? The stat lines here are mainly for the blocker, not for the runaway. If you want to make Suzuka win, I highly recommend playing her as a front runner. She's very strong as a regular front runner for this CM. Moving on to the parent tier list. Parent tier list is going to be very simple. Now we have a flow chart here. You want to try to get accelerations, you want to get mid-leg speed, and you want to, after that, then get late game speed. Do not get late game speed first. This is not a high priority thing to go and get. Right, for the tier list here, you basically have Saiyan Sky, Majiro Ryan, Narita Bryan, Taiki Shuttle, Maruzensky. All of these are going to give you very important acceleration skills. Taiki can technically be used for late surges if you want to gamble, also for the 4th position. There's also something of a possibility depending on the enemy's team comp and your own team comp. Okay, so for Dober's unique for this CM, she's not going to be a very important parent. I wouldn't really put a lot of effort into making her. In addition to her being literally released at the same time as the CM, so it's very impossible basically to do a parent in time. Dober's unique also activates a little bit too early if you inherit it. You would have to hit number 6 a little bit later, otherwise it would not activate at a good timing. Ryan is the more consistent one for the number 6 position. So for this CM in particular, Ryan's unique will be the only one that will be caring about. Dober will be less important, mostly for enclosures, and besides, the parent timing is really bad for her. So don't worry about Dober too much. If you want to use any of these horses as the main horse, in the increased duration makes them very powerful also. But some are going to be easier or harder to make than the other horses. Just take note of that, right? A special mention will be McQueen here, who I actually wanted to raise a little bit higher, but the S tier is kind of full already. The reason why McQueen is so high is because inherited McQueen unique, even at the earliest activation, can actually speed carry over, which is very important. Case of Courage and Bakushin unique, as per usual, for the front runners to help fight for the mid leg, and then for the B tier will mostly be all of the late game speed skills, right? So perfectly segregated. It's going to be S as the working acceleration, A as the mid-leg speed, and then B as the late game speed. Okay, now we move on to the Scorpio Cup Ace tier list. With the F tiers, we basically have all of the horses without a very important unique or just not enough good stuff inside of their kit to help them to win in this kind of CMs. Right, El Condor Pasa, for example, is a straight line unique. This is not a straight line CM, so definitely do not recommend her to be used for this CM. All of the other horses here are basically going to be somewhat similar. They don't have a lot of good stuff inside of them. These basically require a lot of very powerful cards in order to make them very good. So it's going to be a hell of a ton of effort to make them really significant. Right, moving on to the C tiers, these horses are quite similar, but they do have at least 1 or 2 very solid goal skills inside of them to help them out. For example, Hishi Amazon does have a lot of encloser related speed skills, meaning that if you run her as an encloser, you can always basically just pump her full of the gambling skills and prey. Enclosers play pretty much like late surgers in this CM in particular. There's no straightaway spurt in particular, so they're just playing for number 6 position, number 5 positions for the gambling activations for the acceleration. Right, so basically these horses here also have like 1 or 2 good stuff inside of them, not too big of a pain compared to the F tiers to make, but it's still quite a wall to try to make them really good. Mihono Bourbon also put here because she does have taking the lead as a gold early lead, which is very good, but other than that, she doesn't really have much else to go for her. Right, now we will go on to the B tiers. For the B tiers, these horses do have a goal recovery inside of them, or they have survivor focused horses, right? Or they are just horses that are generally good and can win, but going to take a lot of effort. For example, we have Vodka and Current. Vodka and Current, if you want to make them, is going to have to pump a lot of medium sparks into them, and also have to find a lot of medium skills for them, because these horses do not by themselves have the medium skill, so it's going to be a lot of pain to go and make them. But the other horses here all are perfectly viable to try to make to win. You definitely can try to do it, but there are going to be a lot stronger horses that have a lot stronger innate kits, which means that you can min-max them much better than the horses here, right? If you have all of the stuff inside of you, you don't have to go and search for the stuff that you need to go and pump into the horse, right? So that's why the B tier horses here are mostly going to be more of the survivor side, or they have some decent stuff. It's just going to require a bit of effort, not so much effort as the C tiers or F tiers, in order to make these horses viable. Right, now we move on to the A tier. For the A tier, these horses here either are speed debuffers, because I like to put them into A tiers, because the speed debuffers are notably going to be very good for the finals, but not super good for giving you a very high win rate for the entire CM. And then the rest of the horses here is going to be a lot of options, honestly, because for this CM, a lot of these horses are perfectly viable to give you a win and bring you all the way to A finals. Narita Bryan is very good, Daiwa Scarlet, Doto are very good for gambling, TM Opera O can speed carry over, your Gold Ship is Gold Ship, you know her already, Marozenski Acceleration Uniques, more duration, always good to have it, Oguri Cap, you don't need any other explanation. And then we have the Gamblers, Grass Wonder, Tosin Jordan, Gold City, Alcondo Pasa, Fantasy. All of these just hit number 6, hit number 5, activate unique sometimes, and they are able to win. On your left also going to be a very significant goal skill for them to go and gamble on, right? So gamblers, your pace chasers, your front runners, all of these are perfectly viable. Maru can be played into really any position, up to you, but the sparks mostly tell her to go to the go to the front runner, right? So yeah. So Narita Taishin, I actually wanted to put her into S tier, but I will be putting her into A tier here. It's mostly because she suffers from the same problem as Taiki Shuttle, but it's the opposite. Her unique works as a speed carryover, but she doesn't really have any other stronger accelerations besides gambling skills, so she's basically like every other gambler, except that her unique has speed carryover, which can help her out with fighting for the front and activating her number 6 when fighting with all the other late surges. So Taishin is still going to be a very strong horse, but unfortunately, a lot of her skills are end closer skills, right? Encroaching Shadow is end closer, so like literally a lot of her skills will not be available for her usage because she'll be run as a late surger, so she's roughly the same level as a Gold Ship in terms of forcing them into late surger, then finding the core skills required for mediums, and then praying that you can hit them while you're doing the run, right? Also, Taishin has a pretty hard career, so I can't really rate her any higher than this right now, yeah, unfortunately. All of these horses perfectly viable, and of course there's also blockers. You can also use Blockushin or your blocker Smart Falcon, but it's going to be a lot of effort again because of the turf spark requirement and also medium, so it's going to be very, very painful to go and hunt down those sparks, but if you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it. They can also win, but it's also going to be a lot of effort for you, right? Moving on to the S tier, we have the CM Big Boys, right? The Big Boys are basically going to be the front runners. First of all, we have the Class 6, Seiyan Sky and Esmaru. They are never going to be bad. They're going to give you an insanely high win rate, in fact, but Silent Suzuka gets a special mention as a front runner. Why? Because Silent Suzuka has unrestrained inside of her. Every single front runner horse wants to try to get unrestrained inside of their kit if possible, because that unrestrained, no matter how badly it procs, always gives you a little bit of length every single time. So it's very, very good to buy unrestrained for this CM in particular. If you cannot get the Ghost skill, try to get Final Push instead then, right? So just go and get yourself that Final Push or unrestrained is going to be very, very good for this CM. Unrestrained is really, really damn good because that final corner is perfectly positioned for unrestrained, right? Angling and scheming as per usual, then a bunch of speed. You want to get power and wit as well so that you're able to go and fight, and then of course spot fighting will be very common with the front runners, so you definitely want to go get a bit of guts as well. So every single stat line, very, very real strategy. Try to get angling and scheming. First place horse wins as per usual. Front runner, right? Suzuka is just very, very easy to make. That's why she's going to get a special mention, because she has basically everything inside of a kit. Unrestrained, early lead, left-handed, and concentration. Boom, done. Finish already. Just get groundwork and then you're good to go, right? And then also for front runners, try to shove Mihono Bourbon Wit into every single one of the decks because you want to give them golden early lead as much as possible. It is very significant and helps your win rate by quite a bit. Definitely want to get that card as much as possible into your horses, unless of course you're Mihono Bourbon, in which case you probably have it, or if you're V Bourbon, you can't use it. Unlucky, right? Next, we have the Gamblers, we have Ryan, we have Dober, we have Festival Gold City. All of these horses here are basically gamblers. Even Mayano can be forced into gambler, but you know about Mayano already. All these 4 positions here actually play late surger. Okay, after that, we have Dober and Ryan. You know them. They don't need any other XLs. They literally just win the game by their 0.4 XLs. Dober is no exception to this, but Ryan is a lot easier to make because Ryan is perfect proc, and also she basically has a bunch of late surge skills inside of her. So Ryan is incredibly powerful. Hit number 6 and you basically win the game, but Dober can hit number 6 or number 5 and she'll win the game also. No problem, right? So that's the difference between the two of them. Festival Gold City just has a good gambling skill and a good ass unique for this CM. So it's just a very, very strong horse for this CM. Do not buy the debuff on the Festival Gold City. It is not relevant for this CM. It is a mild skill, okay? If you read it properly, it says mild. So please do not buy the mild skill for the medium CM. Alright, so yeah. Then after that, of course, we have the classic, which is Mayana Top Gun or McQueen, because these two horses here are going to be very, very strong. Mayana will always be strong because Shapeshifter gives her every single acceleration possible. She has the no stopping me inside of her. She has Breath of Fresh Air if you want to go and gamble that. Later on it gets buffed, so she becomes insanely powerful, and she has the Fast Learner event, which lets her get the lower skill point requirement on all skills very, very easily compared to any other horse. So this horse is very, very powerful for min-maxing, and I highly recommend her for new players also because it's actually very easy to make her as well due to her stat lines. Okay, after that we have McQueen. McQueen is also a very solid horse for this CM because of perfect speed carryover, and the additional speed allows her to get into a very good position, right? She wants to she can be played into two positions. She can play Pace Chaser, she can be played as a front runner, she can be played as a Pace Chaser that goes into front runner position also. So you can do like Pace Chaser McQueen, where you go into the Taiki Shuttle unique, and then after that you go Anglian Scheming. That's something that also can work out for her. So McQueen can be played into a variety of ways, and her speed unique is very powerful. So it does give her a very, very huge boost to her play for this CM in particular. Right, okay, so Taiki Shuttle is going to be an S tier horse. This horse is notably still a little bit hard to make, but she has a lot of stuff going for her. First off, since she is going to be run for this CM, she can get a lot of medium sparks, and medium sparks allows her to raise her secret events. The secret events allow her to get her head on. Head on is another gambling skill. Her unique also activates at a very, very good timing, which means that Taiki herself is a very, very powerful horse as well for this CM. The only problem is that, you know, she has a lot of mild skills. Only mild skills is not very good because you don't have the skills that you're looking for innately, which is going to suck. So you will have to manually find every single gold skill or medium skill that you will want to shove into your Taiki Shuttle from other sources. But notably, she's still also very easy to make because of the speed stat bonuses and whatnot. So I would say that she's about 50-50 in terms of whether it's easier or harder to make. The stat lines may be very easy, but the skills may be a little bit too hard. But the unique and the hit-on skill, guaranteed basically, are going to be very, very significant to boosting her power level. And you can win a lot with her, especially if you can find the key skills that Taiki Shuttle needs for this CM. Alright? And then, of course, the last one to mention is, of course, the debuffers here. The debuffers are, of course, going to be very, very common. Nice Nature is going to be the most common because 1 star, everyone has her, and you can just make her super, super easily, and she's going to boost your win rate by a decent amount, right? If you look at the charts, actually, you can see that triple aces is generally going to be stronger in terms of win rate due to high consistency, right? But the Nice Nature is a lazy man's way to basically just dump it in there, go and beam a few people, and then after that, some people will die, and that will boost your win rate by a little bit. So your win rate will still be relatively high with just 1 debuffer and 2 decently good aces, right? So that's something that people will consider, and you will basically see Nice Nature for every single medium CM, alright? For a long, long time, you will just see Nice Nature because people are lazy, right? And then the last one here is going to be Christmas Oguri. Christmas Oguri is so special that we have to make a separate page just for her, right? There is going to be around 12 to 10 hour window to make Christmas Oguri, right? So I will tell you the core things that you're hunting for within this 12 to 10 hour window. Now, do you need to fear this horse? Not that much. I wouldn't worry about it because this horse, only a select few people can actually make her very, very, very powerful. Otherwise, the rest of them will basically be making a gambler horse. And gambler horse, they don't win often, but they will win every now and then you may cry about it, right? For Christmas Oguri, what are you trying to hunt for? The most important core stuff to hunt for is the first one, 2 recovery plus 777. Very, very important. The recoveries that you can buy are 777, corner recovery, high drape, preferred position, pure heart, which is the Super Creek horse, unique inherited, and Ignited Spirit stamina. Why do you need 2 recoveries plus 777? Because of her unique Festive Miracle. Festive Miracle will give you a big acceleration and speed increase if you activate 3 recoveries. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to gamble 777 as the final recovery, because that activates the unique at 777, giving you a massive boost to your win rate, essentially, because you get a huge speed carryover and a huge acceleration boost, and then you add on top of that Taiki Shuttle unique, kablam, you win the game. Or if there's very few front runners, you activate Angling and Scheming, kablam, you win the game. Alright, so this is why Oguri is very, very strong. Right, if we scroll down here, you can see the recovery consistency. Right, with 3 gold recoveries, or basically 3 white recoveries, it doesn't matter. Right, it doesn't matter whether it's white or gold for the sake of this unique. You basically want to have a bunch of wit in order to activate this at a higher priority. You do not want to get 4 gold recoveries. If you activate 4, you might accidentally miss. If you miss, then you're not going to win. Right, so this is a gambler horse for this CM in particular. You buy 3 recoveries, you get a lot of wit, because if you don't have a lot of wit, your recovery activation chance is really bad, and then you're not going to win that often. So try to get at least 600 wit or higher. Ideally is 800 wit, alright, for the 70%. Alright, the higher the wit, the better. Let's just sum it up like that. Okay, so whatever wit you can get, try to get it. Okay, so what is the Christmas Oguri stat line that you're trying to aim for? It's actually going to be about 1200 speed, and you can nuke that stamina as much as you want, depending on what gold recoveries or white recoveries you're going to buy, but you must pump that wits up as much as possible. If you want to sacrifice the power for it, then so be it. Sacrifice the power for it. Sacrifice the guts for it is also okay, because you don't need so much stamina. Remember, you're buying a bunch of recoveries, and the unique also gives you a recovery, okay? If you read the Festive Miracle, it also gives you a heal. So you do not need a lot of stamina for this horse. You can nuke the stamina as much as you want. It's just for safety. Maybe you want to go for a substantial amount in case of nice nature debuffers, then you can go for that. But if you want to go and full greed it, you can full greed it also, up to you. Alright, nice. Christmas Oguri is very special because of her innate unique recovery and the fact that you must have 3 recoveries at least. One of them can be Gourmand, for example, also. So you can just make this horse very, very stable. Very, very stable, but you must get that wit very high. So your deck will be very lean towards the wits focus as much as possible. Stamina doesn't have to be super high, but try to get it to a nice threshold of your choosing, because you want to be stable against nice nature enemies, right? But of course, if you're using this horse at the finals, then you can also pray that there's not a lot of nice natures in the lobby, in which case you can just use your dominators and just pray for victory with this Christmas Oguri, right? So yeah, I put the 2 disclaimers at the bottom already, and I've explained why, right? You want high wit for activating your 3 recoveries. You must be careful of debuffs. Lower guts is totally okay. Lower stamina is also okay. If your stamina is not enough, then just change one of the whites to a gold recovery instead. Right? Take note that the Super Creek Inherited, if you want to use that strategy, is Pure Heart, right? It's a 0.35 recovery, which is a little bit better than a white recovery, so you can also calculate that into your stamina calculations. Alright, I cannot really give you an exact number for this horse. This horse is really, you must know how much stamina you are happy with, and then after that, you just buy the recoveries, and then also calculate your own unique, okay? Your own unique, you must remember that, because as long as that unique activates, you basically will get some stamina back. But MooMooCows, what if I only activate 2 recoveries, then this horse instantly loses? So take note of that also, right? So your wit may be high, but 30% chance of not activating all 3 means that you will lose sometimes. Alright, this horse will not dominate the entire CM. The window is too short. People don't know how to make this horse. But if they make this horse properly, even then the chance of winning is pretty good, but not 100%. So it's still possible to beat this horse. So I wouldn't worry so much about it, and I also wouldn't expect too many of these Christmas Oguris. But I will expect some, because people love Cinderella Grey, and casuals will just see it and be like, oh my god, Cinderella Grey has arrived, I will make the Christmas Oguri. But they may not even make it properly, so you don't have to worry so much about it, right? Many factors. Time constraint is very, very real. So for this CM, don't have to worry so much for the Christmas Oguri, right? But if you want to make her, I have given you the guide. You get your 2 recovery skills plus your 777. Do not buy Agnes Tachyon. It is too late for this CM. Do not buy Agnes Tachyon unique, right? I only gave you these 6 here. If you buy anything else, your problem already, not my problem. Alright, so that's pretty much the ones that I've double checked already. These are the recoveries that you can use for Christmas Oguri in this CM. Alright, anyway, moving on. For front runners, core skill. try to get Unrestrained. Really do try to get it. And then of course, get the Golden Early Lead from the Mihono Bourbon Wit card, and then after that get your Groundwork, and then Anglian Scheming, and whatever other greens you need to go and activate your skills, right? Pace Chasers is basically head on, and then other than that is basically everything else. You might be asking, what about Nimble Navigator and Umastand? For this CM, it's not very important. I still recommend buying it, however, because while you're making your aces, you may just buy it and then maybe get a very good spark, then that could become a so-called failed ace parent in the future, right? So I like to do that nowadays because I really don't have time to do parent farming. So I still recommend people to go and buy Umastand and Nimble Navigator just so they can randomly get the spark along the way in case they have to do a lot of runs and they get really unlucky, maybe they get a parent out of it, right? But of course, if you don't want to, because you're very min-maxy, then Nimble Navigator is not so good. Final Corner means you might White Swing. White Swing is not very good for winning, right? Umastand is solid as a good skill, but not a core skill for this CM. The Umastand will be very relevant, I believe, on 2100 or higher distances, so don't have to worry so much about hunting down for Umastand. For Pace Chasers for this CM, really they just need to get Head On and Taiki Shuttle unique, and they are mostly good to go already, right? Next Surges, you have 1 million gambling skills. 1 million gambling skills. It's like your choice already, right? You got Pump, you got Moving Past and Beyond, which is Dober's unique, you got Shooting for Victory, you got Red Shift. Take your own pick of your own accelerations. If you got enough acceleration, then just buy more speed skill. Really. Encloser is about the same also, no problem, right? Either way works. Possible strategies, you can use Triple Front. Triple Front is very consistent, very, very strong, very good win rate. 2 front runners plus 1 backliner is going to be very, very good also, because front runner, if they can't win, then backliner can hit number 6 and try to win. 1 blocker plus 2 backliners or 1 pace chaser or whatever the hell you want, also very good because you can block the front runners from winning and boost your pace chaser's chance to win. And then your backliners can also try to gamble for number 6, and that is also a very, very strong way to go and win this CM, right? And then of course, later on, you can do like 3 backliners, no problem. 2 ace plus 1 debuffer, no problem. 1 ace plus 2 debuffer. The disclaimer for the 1 ace plus 2 debuffer is please make sure your ace is very strong and consistent. If your 1 ace is shit, and then you put 2 debuffer, then your whole team comp sucks, because you basically cannot make a shit horse win, because the shit horse will just not activate their skills, will not have anything to go and fight for. So for example, you use Seiyun plus 2 debuffer, do you have another front runner to fight? If there's no other front runner to fight, you may not be winning that one, right? So you gotta make sure you know what the hell you're doing with the 1 ace plus 2 debuffer in terms of making your Oshi win. But it does allow them to win, right? It does allow them to win, right? Yeah. Then after that, the last one is of course the use the Taurus Cup horses, which is the laziest option. This is going to be something if you want to skip this CM and just go to the next one. But in my opinion, I think this CM is actually quite friendly. You basically can use anything and anything can win in this CM as long as it's front, pace or lead. For the enclosers, they can still win because enclosers are just very powerful. So you can still use your stupid Go Ship, very disgusting horse, can hit number 6 and then just win the game as per usual. You can use Taishin encloser, maybe not so strong, but Nemesis is still a very strong carryover, so possible. And then for Mayana Top Gun, you know, Mayana Top Gun can be anywhere, so she's not, I don't really count as an encloser, she's just like an anywhere horse, right? For debuffer priority, early rounds is better to stamina debuff them, and then finals is going to be better with speed debuffs. But even then, in the finals, if you're lazy, you can bring the nice nature. If they bring bare minimum horses because they thought that you were going to bring speed debuffers, then you can go and snipe their bare minimum horse and then you can just win the game from there, right? So like it's just like rock paper scissors, the finals. You just flip a coin, see what happens in the final lobbies. If final lobbies become a debuffer hell lobby, then oh shit, I'm cooked. If final lobbies is not a debuffer hell lobby, then oh, I can win, right? So it's just a different lobbies will give you different cuts of win rates for the debuffers over here. Up to you. In general, if you want to have consistently high win rates, it seems 3 aces is going to be the way to go most of the time. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this guide over here. Hopefully this has helped you. If you have any other questions, I'm available on YouTube or Twitch live streams, or you can DM me through the Ko-fi, or you can go to the Discord and ask around. People there are much willing to help you with stat lines, with card decks, with what kind of stat lines you're aiming for, with what kind of things are important, because all of them just have nothing else to do but do their rooms and whatnot, so they have a lot of experience with this, right? Feel free to use and refer the Canva sheet. The Canva sheet is going to be very, very helpful for you because it's a very nice reference guide, and I make this because I also need to refer to it because I cannot remember everything that I said on this video, right? So sometimes I just got to go back and reference it. That's why I make this Canva sheet in the first place, right? Thank you guys for everything, and thank you guys for this whole year of support because this channel has grown to a very, very ridiculous level, right? So yeah, thank you everyone, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Good luck with your grinding and good luck with your pulls. Take note that by the time you are going to the Scorpio Cup, the Kitasan Black banner will be available. So this will be a CM where everyone will basically have Kitasan Black, which will make this a much more even fight compared to to the last time. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. A lot of horses are possible. Kita-san Black will be more available, and so everything here is going to be a little bit more tougher than last time. Right, so that's pretty much it guys for this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.